The conversation around Caitlyn Clark has always been louder than the game itself. Even in the earliest months of her WNBA journey, before she had logged a full season of professional minutes, she was already becoming a gravitational force in a league that had long waited for a moment like this. The spotlight followed her with an almost magnetic pull, from the dazzling deep threes to the intensity she carried each time she stepped on the hardwood. She pulled up from the logo, shot from distances that defied logic, and played with a confidence that made even veteran defenders uneasy. And while the crowds loved it, not everyone in the league embraced the phenomenon. Her rising profile ignited frustration, envy, and in some cases, open resentment. Players bumped her harder, challenged her more aggressively, and made sure she earned every inch of court space. Their message was simple: nothing in this league comes easy, no matter how brightly the cameras shine on you. Amid all this, whispers about a seismic shift started circulating behind closed doors in Indiana. Reports surfaced claiming that Herbert, Simon, the billionaire owner of both the Indiana Pacers and Indiana Fever, had taken a dramatic step that could reshape the trajectory of the WNBA. According to these unverified accounts, Simon walked into a confidential meeting with team executives and delivered a message that would send shockwaves through any organization. The claim suggested that Caitlyn Clark wasn't just the face of the franchise. She was now the foundation, the priority, and the centerpiece of everything the team would do moving forward. The phrase Caitlyn Clark's team began circulating across social media, stirring excitement, suspicion, and controversy at the same time. It was unclear whether the statement was ever made exactly that way, but one thing was undeniable: the Fever had already reorganized themselves around the presence of a generational star. To understand why such a rumor exploded, you have to understand who Herbert Simon is and what his influence means. At 90 years old, Simon has built one of the largest real estate empires in the nation, turned the Pacers into a long-standing staple of Indiana sports, and positioned himself as one of the most enduring figures in American basketball ownership. He saved the Pacers from collapse in the 1980s, and later helped bring a WNBA team to the state when the league expanded. For decades, the Fever were respected but rarely spotlighted nationally. They had championship success, yes, but the mainstream attention simply wasn't there. Then came April 2024, the night the Fever drafted Caitlyn Clark, and everything the franchise knew about relevance, visibility, and opportunity changed permanently. Clark's arrival transformed the Fever instantly. Attendance skyrocketed, creating sellouts the organization had never experienced. Road teams moved games into NBA arenas to fit the demand. Television ratings spiked every time she touched the ball. Merchandise sales surged beyond anything the WNBA had previously witnessed. Overnight, Indiana went from a quiet franchise to the epicenter of women's basketball, and that kind of momentum is something ownership notices immediately. Simon didn't need to declare that this was Clark's team for the world to see it. Every financial indicator, every ticket sold, and every national headline pointed to the same conclusion: she was becoming the driving engine of the entire organization. This is where speculation fills the gaps. Multiple social media accounts began claiming that Simon held a private meeting instructing the front office to align everything around Clark's development and longevity. It was said that coaching choices, roster decisions, and long-term planning should be viewed through the lens of maximizing her career. But despite how sensational the rumors sounded, no credible journalist, analyst, or insider confirmed them. No statements from Simon, no press notes from the Fever, no leaks from the front office. Just a viral wave of theories born in the shadows of fan speculation. And yet, when you look beyond the rumors and focus on the actual decisions being made, the direction of the franchise becomes undeniably clear. After drafting Clark, the Fever made massive organizational changes. They brought back Kelly Clark, a respected figure with deep roots in the franchise, to oversee basketball and business operations. She restored stability and vision. They hired Amber Cox as general manager, adding even more leadership experience. And they brought back Stephanie White, an Indiana legend and accomplished coach known for her basketball intelligence and emotional leadership. These moves didn't happen because of a rumor. They happened because the Fever were preparing for a new era, one that required a strong infrastructure to support a star, whose impact extended beyond the court. The Fever even announced a $7 million practice facility, one of the most advanced in the league, 2 full courts, recovery systems, training rooms, advanced technology, and a level of investment rarely seen in women's basketball. This wasn't a symbolic gesture. It was a statement. If you're building for the future, you do it with intention, with money, and with a clear blueprint. That blueprint just happened to align perfectly with the arrival of Caitlyn Clark. Of course, the 2025 season didn't unfold the way fans expected. Clark suffered multiple injuries, limiting her to just 13 games. A barrage of quad strains, groin pulls, and ankle issues kept her on the sidelines as she watched her team fight through adversity without her. Yet even with their biggest star absent, Indiana pushed forward, clawing their way into the playoffs. upsetting the Atlanta Dream in the first round and pushing the eventual champions to the brink. That performance alone showed that the Fever were not relying solely on Clark's presence. Players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston stepped up, while Stephanie White coached with poise under pressure. The team proved they had depth, heart, and resilience, even without their most marketable talent. So when rumors about Simon's alleged proclamation continued to swirl, the real question became whether a declaration was even necessary. The franchise was already acting like it had a once-in-a-generation player at its core. The investments, the staffing choices, the structural changes, and the marketing strategy all pointed toward one truth. The Fever knew what they had. They weren't waiting for outside validation. They were building with purpose. If the rumored meeting did happen, it would mark a radical shift in player empowerment in the WNBA. But even if it never occurred, the message remains unmistakable. Caitlyn Clark is not just a player for Indiana. She is a movement, a business engine, and a cultural catalyst whose presence has altered the landscape of women's basketball. The Fever are not simply adjusting to her, they are planning around her. And whether the league embraces it or resists it, the ripple effect will be felt for years. The real question now is how far Indiana is willing to go. How much influence will Clark eventually hold? And how will the team balance her star power with the needs of the roster, the vision of the coaching staff, and the integrity of the sport? Those answers will define the next chapter of the franchise. Now I want to hear from you. If you were running the Indiana Fever, would you build your entire franchise around Caitlyn Clark? Do you think one player should hold that much power over an organization? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation. And if you want more powerful breakdowns, dramatic stories, and deep dive narratives into the world of basketball, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss what happens next.